Welcome back to We're Having Fun. I'm Mark. Hello.
Hi, I'm Krista.
What's up, Krista? What do we got?
I don't have any news.
Not much. Nothing. It's a hot summer.
It is very hot.
We're trying to make it through.
Yep.
Hopefully I'm recording on the right mic.
I hope so.
It looks right.
Okay.
Hope for the best. All right. Well, then I guess we can just get into our movie so we don't burn up.
Yeah, because we have to turn the air off to record.
So it's a hot one.
So if we could get through this pretty quickly, that'd be great.
Well, this week we're watching Heavyweights to continue our camp theme.
Yeah, or
Heavyweights. Childhood movie of mine. Only mine.
of mine also.
I might be a little controversial here, but I didn't really like Heavyweights growing up.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't really one of my favorite ones. I don't know why that was, but yeah, I don't know. Watching it this time though, it wasn't bad. I thought it was alright. I'm not sure why I didn't like it so much. Maybe I just didn't like Ben Stiller's character.
Maybe.
He scared me.
He's very over the top, but
he's crazy.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
It's really funny to see him as that character.
Yeah.
I watched this a lot.
Did you? Well, yeah, I could tell.
Yeah. I think the first time I watched it was probably at a sleepover with my best friend and some other friends. After, it may have been the time after we went ice skating.
Okay.
And then it became one of those movies that the two of us watched a lot.
Okay.
Whenever we just wanted something to watch, we were like, let's watch Heavyweights. This is funny. So, yeah.
Let me guess. Your crush was on Tim.
I probably did have a little bit of a crush on Tim.
There you go.
Yeah, maybe Kenny the cameraman. I don't know.
yeah. He's a good one there.
He's in it for like 2 minutes. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. How'd you feel this time watching it? Still great?
Still enjoyable.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad.
Not
like bad
it.
at all.
I like it a lot better than Camp Nowhere.
Yeah.
So
definitely, I would say less problematic. Although it's still the fat camp trope.
Yeah.
Of the 90s. Yeah. Gotta love that time.
Yeah. I love that this is on Disney Plus in case you want to watch it. And I love that the description of it, as soon as we looked it up, I was like, oh my gosh, it's Portly Misfits. Join up to take back their summer camp from a fitness guru. And the Portly Misfits just had me giggling. It was just funny. Let's find a way of saying fat kids without calling them fat, but also while calling them fat. Oh man, Portly, sure. Lumpy. They could have gone with Lumpy.
Yeah, that's
found
better.
Out
That's way better.
Last week.
Yep.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, what happens in Heavyweights?
Okay, well, we start off. I mean, it like literally goes straight into the movie, just like we're going straight into the movie.
Heavyweights movie.
It's like Walt Disney Presents or whatever, Heavyweights, and then we get straight into it. So
school's out for the summer.
Exactly. Jerry, our main kid, he is on his way home from school. He missed the bus.
That bus driver, that dude's
that bus driver did it on purpose.
Yeah.
He hates this kid. Everybody hates this kid.
No way he missed that bus. I don't know. I don't feel like they can leave without him. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
They can.
Can? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess you've gotten left before.
Yeah.
Maybe they shouldn't.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that a school bus has left without me before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's right there. He's chasing him, yelling at him. That bus driver. Unless they're just not paying attention.
Yeah. Well, they probably got a bunch of screaming kids in the bus also. They're probably like, I just want to get home to get rid of all these kids.
Yeah. But then as it goes on, I started to think, I think maybe everybody hates this kid.
Yeah.
Because he stops by a baseball field, tries to throw a ball back over the fence.
He's very bad
Does not go well. He's trying to throw left-handed. He's obviously not left-handed.
No.
So.
But then when he tries to do it right-handed, he's still not good.
Well, he doesn't throw it with the right hand. He just tries to place it over the top.
Yeah, and it falls back.
It falls back. He's just not doing well.
He's not the most athletic.
He's not.
But yeah, he can't throw a ball. But you don't really, I mean, you see people kind of making fun of him. But I mean, at least they are making fun of him for a reason. At this point.
At least, you can always make fun of people if there's a good reason. That's our stance on it. Bullying is okay if there's a good reason.
But he's walking down the street and this woman is walking her dog, and this dog just like starts barking at him.
Hates him
for no reason.
Yeah.
Now this dog is a bully. Absolutely. There's no reason for him to be doing that.
Nobody likes this kid. It's crazy.
He goes up to a lemonade stand. He's been walking home, so he's hot and thirsty, and he buys like the whole pitcher of lemonade and just starts downing it.
Yeah.
And it's getting all over him. It's gross.
It looked pretty refreshing though. I was like, dang, I could go for some lemonade right now. That'd be good. Yeah,
but I don't want it like going all down my front and everything because it'd get all sticky and gross.
Yeah, I guess so. But that, when you're a kid, it doesn't matter as much.
Guess so.
I was constantly sticky and gross as a kid.
So he gets home.
Yeah.
And his parents are like, Mr. Johnson is here. Mm-hmm. He wants to talk to you about summer camp.
Yep.
So they have a VHS tape that is for the summer camp.
Camp Hope.
And
they got the blob there, swimming and stuff, go-karts. He's getting into it.
Yeah, and they're like the Bushkins. They're the people who are in charge of it. They've been doing this camp for 32 years.
That was Jerry Stiller and his wife.
Yes.
And Mira. I can't remember, yeah.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller's
parents, exactly. So, but then in the video, one of the guys says that something about weight loss.
Yeah. I've been coming here for 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, but the guy who says it, he's been coming here for so many years.
Yeah.
And he hasn't lost weight.
He's still a big guy. I mean, he's not huge, but he's pretty big.
No. But that clues Jerry in that it's a fat camp. And he does not want to go.
Yeah.
To a fat camp.
Even if it's a fat camp, it still looks pretty fun.
It still looks fun.
Yeah. You got go-karts, blob.
Exactly.
All that stuff's still there.
Exactly.
And it's accommodated to your size.
Yes.
So
and you're
with other people your size.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it seems fun.
It's probably like the ideal situation.
Probably.
But you have to tell people you're going to a fat camp.
Well, you don't have to.
You don't actually have to tell people.
You could just tell people I'm going to summer camp.
Yeah.
There you go. That's all you gotta say. We're going to be swimming. We're going to be doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
And you never have to say
the name of it or where it's located, but I'm going to camp.
Well, you can still say Camp Hope. How many people are going to look it up? Back in the 90s.
What was this? 94? When was this?
96?
96?
Maybe.
Trying to think if I had the internet at 96. I don't think so.
I didn't.
I think I got it a little later.
I know I didn't.
Yeah. You didn't have it till 2013, right?
Exactly. No, I didn't have it.
Alabama got it.
No, I didn't have it till like 2008, I think. Something like that. So if I wanted to use the internet or a computer, I had to go to my best friend's house.
Yeah.
And we would play on the computer. I don't even know if they had internet, but I know they had computer games.
Yeah.
Because we would play.
That's just as good.
Exactly.
The internet back then wasn't great anyway.
No. But then we used to get together and we would go into like AOL chat rooms.
Of course. Yeah.
So you'd have like the whole ASL and we'd pretend to be older.
Of course, yeah.
Obviously.
We had to.
Not because we were trying to like do anything bad. It was just like, can we pretend to be older? Oh my gosh, can we convince this person that we're like 16 instead of like 14? Yeah, it's stupid.
We're pulling it off.
Oh my gosh, they totally think we're 2 years older than we are.
These idiots.
Yeah. Anyway, it's fat camp. He doesn't want to go. He's like, I'm not going to that camp.
Yeah.
And then we see an airplane taking off because he is going to fat camp.
Yeah. That whole joke.
So he's sitting there in his seat. One of the flight attendants comes up to him, gives him some wings, a little wing pin.
Yeah.
And is like, pinches his cheek. It's like, cutie. And he's just like, what the heck is happening here?
This thing was weird. I was looking on the trivia for this movie. There wasn't a whole lot there, but one thing was like, this was this actress's first role. This is her premiere or something like that. I'm like,
what else has she been in?
Who is this? And I looked and she really hadn't been on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
She'd been in a lot of like music videos, I guess. But
okay.
I was just like, I don't know that this is worth the trivia entry, but hey, I hope she's doing well. I hope she's making a lot of movies.
So he's sitting there and another kid comes up to him and it's Kenan Thompson.
Kenan.
His name is Roy in this. I feel like his name was Roy in the Mighty Ducks also, but maybe not.
I don't think so.
Okay, what was...
I'll look it up while you're doing.
So anyway, he comes up, he's like, you're going to fat camp, aren't you? He's like, no, why would you think that? No, obviously not. He's like, it's okay, I'm going too. We can hang out. And he tells him, at Camp Hope, everybody's the fat kid, so no one bullies you. You don't have to worry about being bullied by all these other people for being the fat kid, because everybody's the fat kid.
Yeah. He was Russ Tyler, by the way.
Russ!
Close.
It was close. Yeah, he's the one. He's the inventor of the knuckle puck.
Yes.
In case you were curious.
Yeah.
So, at the airport, they're waiting for the bus to pick them up, because there's just a bunch of kids.
Yep.
A bunch of fat kids.
Just hanging out.
Just hanging out there.
No adults or anything.
Nope.
Make sure these kids don't get abducted. That's fine.
Guess it is.
The 90s were fine. It was a safe time.
Sure. So here comes a bus, and Pat is driving it. Pat is the one who was in the promotional video. So he's like, you may recognize me from my work on the promotional video.
Only thing I recognized him from was being the boss on Frasier.
Okay.
And that's it.
I feel like he was in something else not too long ago.
Probably.
Like maybe Veep or something like that.
Maybe. I haven't seen a lot of Veep. Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
I could see that.
Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I'll look it up. You go ahead.
Okay. Well, anyway, he gets them all into the van. He does
in
this.
The van, it's a bus.
The van, the bus. I mean,
he's not a creep.
Get in this van.
Come on, kids, get in my van.
I meant bus.
I've got candy. We're going to camp.
So he gets them all on the bus. Well, before he does that, though, he's like, "Oh, Jerry, you're the new kid, so you get to drive."
Yeah,
and
you drive a stick, right?
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, no, I don't, but I can learn real quick." And he's like, "No, never mind. You don't get to drive."
What a shame.
Yep. So
he's gonna be fun. Yeah. He's like, "You ready to have the best damn summer of your life?" A lot of swearing in this movie that you did not even notice.
I guess I've seen it so many times that I just didn't pick up on it anymore.
Yeah. Looks like he was in a Hallmark movie.
No, maybe that's
One Royal Holiday in 2020.
Okay, I've probably seen that one.
He was in one episode of Veep.
Okay.
So he's been in just one episode of a lot of things. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyway.
They're driving the bus. You noticed in the background that they drive by a Bojangles.
They do, yeah.
And you were like, where's this filmed? I'm like, I guess North Carolina.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? Bojangles?
It was indeed filmed in North Carolina, so.
There's like an old Taco Bell sign. And, yeah.
There was a Checkers,
yeah. So it all added up.
Sure. So everybody's, they're having a good time in this bus. And then they see the sign for Camp Hope. They're like, yeah, we're here. And they go by, and there's one kid outside. And he has like this big stick. And he's kind of like shaking his head.
Yeah, why does he do that?
Because I guess he knows, but then later
I don't think he does. Know. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't understand.
So weird.
It was weird.
He's like, isn't it the same that's like the weird kind of quiet kid?
He's a very quiet kid. Yeah, it's the same one. He's in their bunk.
Yeah, and he's like the lookout at a certain point and stuff. So what was he doing?
I don't know, because when the announcement comes later, he starts like crying like he didn't know anything about it. Yeah. Kind of.
I don't know. I feel like they were trying to set him up as a much weirder kid.
Maybe.
That would, like, eventually make a turn or something. To like, maybe he would be scared of him at first, and then he comes around, he's a good dude, but...
Maybe.
That never really happened.
No.
It was such a weird...
It was very
moment.
weird.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh no, that's kind of ominous.
Yeah. Because, nobody else sees it. Staff don't know.
Yeah.
That
exactly. So it's like, how would he know?
Yeah. You would think that would have been announced, by the way.
How would he know?
I don't know.
So
it's confusing. Judd Apatow, who wrote this, could you let us know? I know you're listening. Could you let us know why that kid was doing that?
The kid's name was Sims, by the way.
Oh, okay.
He was the fattest kid in camp too.
He was.
We find that out later.
I have a hard time believing that. He's big.
He's very tall.
But there's another pretty tall kid that I feel is pretty big as well. They could have been like the Bash Bros.
Oh, okay. The Bash Bros. Oh man. Oh, Mighty Duck.
Were we ever so young?
So, they get to the camp.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody starts getting out of the bus, and this is where we see Tim for the first time. My crush, obviously.
Your crush, Paul Feig.
It is Paul Feig.
Yeah. Which I was surprised by. Because I don't know that I ever really knew what Paul Feig looked like. Because I just think of him as like a movie writer and director. Kind of. Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay.
Well, I knew what he looked like because...
Oh, I bet you did.
Because of my crush on Tim, obviously. But
because of your poster you had hanging up in your room.
Exactly, of him in those jorts.
Good night, Paul.
Paul Feig, I love you. Yeah, so Tim used to be fat also, but he lost a bunch of weight, and so now they bully him. Yeah. So he's the only skinny guy there, so he gets bullied. But he doesn't seem to mind, and he still keeps coming back every year, so apparently he likes it. Yeah. He likes being around everybody. Then we meet Nurse Julie, who walks right past him, doesn't care. Yeah. I'm like, Nurse Julie, what are you doing?
She's only got eyes
He's
for
right
one
there.
man.
But she goes straight to Pat. And asks where the infirmary is. And he's like, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm new here.
So she's like, okay, well, I guess I'll find it myself. She walks off. And then somebody's like, what are you talking about? You don't know where the infirmary is. You've been here for like so many years. So then we have Chipmunk Bunk.
Yeah, that's where they're staying.
That's the cabin where Jerry is with, I almost called him Russ. Roy. Yep. With Roy and Sims is in there. There's a little British kid.
Yeah, strange British kid. Why is he there?
Why is he there?
Why his parents don't show up later? Yeah. So what's his story? And is he an exchange student that they sent to fat camp? What's going on?
Don't know. And then
I have a lot of questions.
You got Salami Sam. He's in there. Yeah. You've got Josh, who we meet.
Yeah. And Goldberg from Mighty Ducks.
Yes. And I feel like there's that weird kid that wears a beret at some point. I can't remember what his name is. Like Philip or something like that. And maybe somebody else. I can't remember. But yeah, there's a bunch of them in there, and Pat is the counselor in charge of their cabin. But yeah, we meet Josh. Yeah.
He's the cool...
He's acting like he's part of the mafia or something.
Yeah, he runs this place.
It's like, what is this?
But he's actually a fun kid.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, gets along with everybody.
Exactly. Everybody gets along with everybody.
Everybody likes everybody.
Exactly. It's like...
Except Ben Stiller and his crew.
Well, at the beginning.
Yeah. It's a very positive camp.
Yes. Jerry comes in. He's the new kid, so, he immediately gets started. They start calling him Captain because he's got his little pilot wings on. And he's like, oh no, is this going to last the whole camp? It does.
Yeah, but that's not a bad nickname.
But it's not a bad nickname, exactly, because he kind of becomes like a leader of the group. Yeah. So he kind of is the captain of them, so it works out.
He's the captain now.
So he's like, oh, I hope that I don't get in trouble for this, but I snuck in some Oreos. Yeah. And they're like, oh my gosh, okay, everybody download now. And they've all snuck in a bunch of candy, salami, like all kinds of stuff like this. It's really nasty. The British guy, he pulls up his shirt, and all of
melted chocolate.
The chocolate that he had like taped to his stomach is just melted. And then
I don't even want to talk about it. I hate it.
Should we just skip that?
A kid gets some chocolate and eats it off of him, and
it made him sick.
I tried to look away, and then I heard him say, "Oh, that's gross." I was like, "Okay, maybe he doesn't actually eat it." So I looked back, and he ate it. I was like,
eating it.
Oh, it's the worst. Gross.
So anyway, they have like basically one full day where everything is good. Yeah, I think, because
they're playing on the blob.
By the way, the blob we haven't said what the blob is. It's in the lake. It's this big
it's a big blow up thing where you sit on one side, the other person dives on the other side and launches you.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, there are a couple of times where it looks like somebody's going to break their neck when they dive onto it. But
people are like head diving onto the blob, which is such a bad idea.
Don't do that. Like, do like a cannonball kind of thing.
Do that into the water, sure, but onto the blob?
No, that's going to hurt.
You're crazy.
Anyway, so everything is great.
Yes.
And then they have like the big camp meeting. The Bushkins are there.
Owners,
and they get in there and they do their little hi camp greeting. And then they tell them the bad news. Yeah. That they are no longer the owners.
Yep. They went bankrupt.
They did.
They
were letting someone sign their checks.
Yeah. So they probably got
swindled out of all their money.
Taking their money.
And so they had to sell the camp.
Yeah. That's sad.
So now it's going to be run by Tony Perkis.
Mm-hmm. Kept wanting to call him Tony Wonder.
I mean, it is development. The same actor.
Tony Wonder. Did someone say Wonder?
The stupid little W beard. Oh my gosh.
I wonder who the new owners are.
Did I ever tell you about the time that I tried to get my ex to dress as Tony Wonder and do that with his beard?
No.
Because we were going to a party and it was a themed party and one of the themes was Arrested Development.
Oh, okay.
So I dressed up as Maggie Lizer, the lawyer, the blind lawyer, but pregnant Maggie Lizer. So I had a pillow stuffed in this dress.
Yeah.
And I tried to get him to go as Tony Wonder and do that with his beard, and he wouldn't do it.
Oh.
But the funny part is, I was sitting there drinking like Jello shots. People kept thinking I was an actual pregnant woman drinking Jello shots. They're like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "No, it's not real." And I'm like punching my belly. So anyway. It was fun for me, but it would have been more fun if somebody else had participated.
Did you take Wilson as Justice?
No. No. That I'm not sure I had Wilson at that point. Not sure I had him yet.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, Tony Perkis. He is like a fitness guru. Mm-hmm. He is taking over the camp to turn it into a fitness camp.
Yeah, that he's going to try and sell as like a program.
Yes, he wants to do a weight loss infomercial. Mm-hmm. That's why Kenny the cameraman is there, because he's the cameraman for it all.
Filming all of it.
Mm-hmm. Kenny the cameraman, I know him from like a bunch of Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah.
Because he was
the star of Grandma's Boy, which is surprisingly pretty good movie.
Okay. I just know him as like the best friend in a lot of Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah.
And also Tony Perkis talks about how he grew up like
he was homeschooled. He did not have any interaction with children.
Yeah, and this is the first time he will be interacting with children.
Yes.
You can tell.
Yeah. Doesn't have a lot of friends, obviously.
So, anyway, it's not looking good.
Yeah.
So, everybody's pretty bummed out about it. Mm-hmm. Then we have Lars. Yeah. Lars is now the counselor for Chipmunk Cabin. Mm-hmm. Kicks Pat out.
Yeah. He's like a German type guy.
Yes. Yeah. And he snores.
He's what?
He snores.
Oh, yes, he does.
Because he's like, I have a severely deviated septum. So I might make some weird noises. And
I'm sorry, but what's his name? Who's the other guy? Who'd you kick out?
Pat.
If Pat doesn't snore, I'd be amazed.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
Like, Pat's snoring.
Pat's a snorer. You can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell these things.
Yeah. Us big boys, we snore. Come on.
Oh, man. Anyway, so they're trying to get them all ready for the Apache Relay. Because there's going to be an Apache Relay at the end of camp.
Against MVP camp?
Yeah, Camp like MVP. Yeah. They're the camp across the lake.
And they destroy them every year.
Yes, and these guys are jerks.
Yeah.
They, like, come over, they paint mean things on everything.
Yeah, they suck.
They
yell, you stink, you stink, you stink, you stink, you stink, you stink. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. They're not very smart, apparently.
No. So, let's see. It's really just a lot of
camp shenanigans.
Yeah. They go swimming. Oh, they kill the blob.
Yes, they do.
But they go swimming and...
Which I still don't understand why.
No.
Because that's pretty good exercise, yeah.
Because it's fun.
Yeah, I guess so.
So they kill the blob, but they still get to go swimming. Lars has them on the body system, which is the buddy system. But he says body. So yeah, they're all supposed to have their buddies when they're swimming, I guess. And Josh is clearly sitting on the dock, just putting his hand up, going, buddy, even though whoever his buddy is somewhere in the water by themselves.
They may be dead. We don't know.
We don't know.
I guess there could be an odd number.
Maybe.
Who knows? He did just throw one kid over the other side of the dock.
He did.
So, who knows?
He did. So they have to play baseball against Camp MVP at one point.
I think it was softball, pretty much.
Oh, softball. Whatever.
It was a big ball.
Okay. Well, they're playing against Camp MVP. They're not doing well.
They're not.
They're very bad at it.
I don't want to call these kids wusses, but I will because they're being
They just
real
have
wusses.
like a little scrape on
one
their
guy's
knee.
got a skin knee. Okay, maybe that needs you need a little bandage or something. But the rest of them, I don't even see anything wrong with these kids.
They probably have like heat exhaustion or something because they're actually having to do stuff. It would be like me if I had to go out and play softball in the middle of the summer. I'd be like, I can't do it. I can't go any further. It's too hot.
Yeah. But I got hit. I think I've said this before. I busted my lip open a lot in baseball from various things.
Because people are just throwing balls at your face.
Yes.
Because people were just throwing the baseball at you? Or
Not
something?
throwing it, hitting it. Because I played third base. Very important base.
Okay.
And then one time I slid into home face first and he hit me in the face with the ball.
Yikes.
And that busted me open too. But the point is, I'm still in there, baby. It hurt like crazy. Did I cry a little? Maybe I did. I was 2. No. But come on, kids. Get with it.
Okay.
This is the only part where I disagreed with them. Like, you'll need to be better.
Toughen up.
Yeah, it's good for you.
I'm pretty sure I went to a softball camp.
No.
Briefly, like 1 or 2 days, and then I didn't go anymore.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to learn how to slide. Because it looked like it hurt.
Yeah, I mean, it can.
So I was like, you know what? Not interested.
Yeah. It's not that
So it's
bad,
like, I can
really.
hit and I can throw, but don't ask me to slide. I'm not doing it.
Just as long as you got those pants on, it's not so bad.
Well, see, we didn't have pants on.
If you were just wearing shorts and you're sliding, that's not good.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I'm not doing it.
I don't blame you then.
Oh, man. So, that doesn't go well. I don't remember when they start. They have to take the first weight at some point, and I don't think I have it written down anywhere.
Yeah.
But
I know before their first weight, I think, no, it's not. They take their first weight at some point.
Yeah.
And they've all kind of gained some weight. I guess, yeah. And then Tony Winter breaks into their bunk and
yes, he starts taking their snacks.
Food. And one of the counselors who was at the camp last year is working for Tony.
He's a narc.
And he totally narcs on him.
He does.
And tells him where all the food is. But later we're supposed to think this kid is on their side and all good with everything. And I don't know, we're cheering for this kid. I'm not cheering for this kid. I remember I have receipts. And I am not giving them up. He owes them.
Okay, well that kid was in Camp Nowhere also, but he was
Was he?
He was the cashier.
Oh, he was. That's right. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, because when we were watching that last week, I was like, that guy looks familiar. I think he was in Heavyweights, and he was.
I still don't trust him. He's a double narc.
He's a double narc.
He wouldn't sell booze to children.
He wouldn't sell that beer to those children.
Can you believe this guy? The gall.
Oh, man. But that does mean he was in your favorite scene of Camp Nowhere.
He was, He was part of the best joke. Yeah.
Anyway, so he takes all of their snacks. Josh is not happy about it. He's saying some mean things.
Yeah.
And then
he says nobody sees more butts than you.
Yeah, because he says
Papa Tony or whatever his name is.
Uncle Tony, I think.
Yeah.
Because Tony asks something about
I think he asked
where
his
the
name. Whose was this?
Whose was or something like that. And he's like, I'll tell you whose it was. Seymour Butts. Mm-hmm. He's like, who's Seymour Butts? He's like, nobody's seen more butts than you, Tony.
Yeah.
And he gets very mad about this.
Yeah.
And then the next morning Josh is gone. And they don't know what happened to him. There's all of these rumors.
Yeah.
That he was he's living in a park with the homeless people.
Yeah.
And
he was abducted.
Yep.
He was killed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's just straight up dead. So Jerry writes a letter home to his grandmother because he tries to tell everything to his dad, and his dad's like, "Suck it up."
Yeah,
get over it. I didn't send you
go-kart camp.
Exactly, because
they dismantled the go-karts.
They did.
That's just mean.
That is mean.
They probably could have sold those for more. Made a little money.
So anyway, he writes a letter to his grandmother. And he's like, "Someone once said war is hell. Obviously, they've never been to fat camp."
Oh boy.
Okay.
A little dramatic.
Yeah. In my notes I have you stink. So this is where
that's where they're driving by yelling at
Camp MVPs being real bullies. It's so funny. I love it. It's just like, you stink. That's it.
That was the whole thing.
And the thing is, their like main camp counselor or whatever over there is with them.
Yeah.
He's doing all of this bullying with them.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing, bro?
He
Grow
hates
up.
them.
It's like it's not even like they're a real competition either. They've never won the Apache Relay. It's been like 32 years.
Yeah.
They've never won.
They're insecure.
They are. Anyway, so Tony sets up a dance for the boys with a girls' camp that's nearby. So they...
Of course, nobody's dancing.
Nobody wants to dance. They're just like opposite sides of the room. And...
One girl starts walking over to them. Like, oh man, it's happening.
Oh my gosh, here she comes.
She just wants to know where the bathroom is.
Exactly. So they're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was close.
So then Love Machine comes on.
Yes, it does.
A very appropriate song for a kid's dance.
Absolutely.
And here comes Tim.
Tim gets out there. He is like, you know what? I'm going to make this party happen.
Yeah, dressed in his Staying Alive gear.
And he starts dancing.
Yeah.
And he is like...
He's going
ham.
Yeah.
And he's like, come on, Pat, come out here and dance with me. And Pat's like, no, I don't want to do that. But then he sees that, he's out there all by himself. And he's like, all right, fine. Yeah. I'll go out there. So he goes out there. Nurse Julie gets out there. She's dancing. And then all the boys and the girls, they start dancing too.
Yeah.
Everybody's having fun. They're all dancing.
Yep.
Jerry is even dancing with the girl that had walked over earlier.
Yeah.
So, go Jerry.
There you go.
And then, of course, Tony shows up. He's like, party's over.
Shuts it down.
Get out of here. Because he doesn't want them to have fun.
Yeah.
Because I guess he just thought, this is gonna be great. They're not gonna, this is gonna be so humiliating for them. And then it's like, oh, they're actually having fun. Stop the party.
Yeah.
So Jerry goes out. He's on the go-karts.
Just sitting on it.
Yeah, he's just sitting on it because he can't go because they don't have any motors. And Pat comes out and talks to him.
So he's at the go-kart.
Yes. Pat comes out there too. And they talk.
Yeah. He starts pushing him on the go-karts.
Yeah. It's real sweet.
It's like, they used to be really cool.
Yeah.
You would have been great driving these.
Yeah, because he was like, I've never had a chance to drive a go-kart and I really wanted to. That was one of the reasons I wanted to come here because it looked so fun and he was really looking forward to it and then it didn't get to.
Yeah. And this is where I started thinking.
Here we go with the theory.
Pat is actually Jerry's real father. And Jerry's mom wanted to send him here to be with his real dad. They look a lot alike.
They do look a lot alike.
A lot more than Jeffrey Tambor, who plays his dad in this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just saying. I think it could happen. I think he's very fatherly toward him.
He is very fatherly toward him.
Yeah. Or he's just a really nice guy who really cares about these kids.
I mean, that's probably what it is.
There's two different ways to look at it, but I choose the conspiracy. Okay.
Well, we'll come back to that also later because something happens later that I was like, So just keep that in mind.
Yes.
So after they have their fun on the go-karts.
Oh, by the way, the nurse is watching this too.
She sees it.
She's like, oh.
She's like, oh my gosh, this is my dream man.
I have the vapors.
So he gets back, or like later, he's asleep in his cabin. And somebody comes in and it's Josh.
Oh my goodness.
Josh is back.
But he's all messed up.
Yeah.
He doesn't know where he's at. He's talking gibberish.
Yeah. And then finally he starts
he was just
acting like normal. He was just pretending.
Yeah. He's like, he sent me home, but my dad threatened to sue him.
Yeah, so he had to let me back in.
So he's basically immune to whatever now.
Yes. Sure.
Josh could probably do whatever he wanted.
So they decide that they're going to get back at Tony, basically, by sneaking into his cabin so that they can try to find that confiscated candy and everything that he took from him.
Yep.
So they wait till he goes out on his morning run.
Yeah, his crazy run.
Yeah. Yep. So he heads out on his run.
Yeah.
And they break into the cabin. And they get in there. They're looking around at everything. They're not finding any candy.
Yeah. Jerry's spilling drawers of socks.
Yeah.
Doesn't pick it up until the very last second.
It's like, you got to do that right away. Come on.
Jerry, pick up those socks.
Yeah.
Like, all I'm saying is these kids need a little discipline.
So while they're looking for these things, they find two things while they're looking for the candy. The first thing they find is a big poster for Percocise.
Yeah.
Or Percocise with Tony.
Yeah.
And in it, he's holding a child on
a skinny child.
Like a skinny child, like
on his shoulders.
And they have photoshopped Jerry's face onto
Photoshop's a strong word.
Yeah.
He's pretty much cut out his picture and pasted it onto the poster.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it looks like a skinny Jerry, but he still has his normal size face.
Yeah.
So
his portly face.
His portly face. That's so mean. His lumpy face. Oh, man.
Their words, not ours.
Yes, portly. So he's like, what is this? This is crazy. Then they find this big chest, basically. And it's got a lock on it.
Yeah.
Jerry breaks the lock.
Yeah.
And they open it up, and it's all of their letters to home.
They didn't get sent.
Nope, he's been taking their letters and keeping them.
One of them says, I want to go home now.
I want to go home now. It's like all in caps. Yeah, so he's been keeping all of their letters so that they can't complain to their parents about what's happening.
Yep.
Or their grandparents in Jerry's case.
But they're still able to call.
Yeah, I don't know. So maybe he took the phones away too and we just didn't see it.
Maybe. After he made that call to his dad.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's not looking good. And then Tony comes back. So they have to get out of there. Little British Nicholas.
Oh, this kid.
Is in the kitchen eating... What was he eating?
I don't even know what it was.
I don't either. Like peanut butter or something.
Maybe.
It's a jar of something.
Yeah.
Or jelly or I don't know.
Who knows?
But he's just got his hand stuck in a jar.
Yeah.
He's eating. Maybe it was marmalade. He's British.
He is.
Maybe he's like a little Paddington.
So British of him.
So they have to go get him.
Yeah.
They do make it out. Mm-hmm. But not before Nicholas farts in Jerry's face, basically.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta have one fart joke, apparently.
Come on.
So, but they all do make it out. Mm-hmm. And they go hide behind these trees just as Tony like looks out the window and looks out and they're not there. So they got away with it.
And they know exactly when to leave.
Yes.
So
they got away. Mm-hmm. They're talking about like how it was such a close call and everything. And then they're like, wait a minute. Jerry's like, I hear a rapper.
Yeah.
I hear a food rapper.
I thought he was like, we left a rapper back at the thing or something. Like they would get found out, but no, they just heard a rapper.
Yeah, he could hear a rapper from like 100 feet.
DMX, what are you doing here? Notorious B.I.G.
Snoop Dogg, how'd you get here? So there's like a bathroom. They open the bathroom. The beret kid.
Yeah.
That's what I just call him because I don't know his name.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
He is sitting there eating a hamburger, and that's the rapper that they heard.
Yeah.
And so they
were like, you better tell us how you did
how this. How you got this, exactly. So narc counselor guy has been sneaking in snacks for certain people who are paying him.
In a little stump out in the woods.
Yep.
If you leave money in it, he'll bring food.
He'll bring food for you. So they all start doing that.
Yeah.
So
even Pat.
Even Pat, exactly. He goes out there, he's got like 3 bags of like burgers and stuff.
Yeah.
So they're sneaking in snacks. They're not doing their diet plan and everything.
Yep.
And it's time for the midpoint weigh-in. So, first person gets on, they're like, okay, you've gained a couple of pounds, you know, we'll work on it.
We'll just have him eat less and do more metabolic activities.
Exactly. So then he's like, Jerry, get up here. Yeah. Jerry gets up there, he gets on the scale, and he's like,
gained 9 pounds or something like that.
Yeah, he's like, okay. He's like, turn off the camera. And then he like tells him, he's like, you know, you've gotta do this. You've gotta be losing weight and everything. Don't be cheating and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, turn the camera back on. He's like,
Josh, get up here.
Get up here. Josh, get on the scale.
Yeah.
Josh gets on the scale. He starts like getting the weight and he's like, get off the scale.
Yeah, Josh, get off the scale.
And Josh is like, okay. So he is not happy because they've basically all gained weight because they've been sneaking in all these snacks.
Yeah. And the red light on that camera doesn't go off, by the way. He says he's turning it off, but
he's not.
He ain't turning it off.
No. Kenny the cameraman ain't dealing with this. He's like, I'll edit it later. I don't care. So, So he's like, okay, well, this is what we're doing. Anybody who has not hit their weight goal, you're all going with me tomorrow on a 20-mile hike.
Yeah.
A 20-mile hike.
That's crazy.
That is ridiculous.
I've done that once in town, in a city. Like, I walked 10 miles to a movie theater, watched a movie, and then walked 10 miles back.
I've probably done it, like, on a vacation or something, because just walking around a lot in a city, or at, like, Disney World.
Yeah.
Because
you walk a lot.
Yeah, you walk a lot there. Mm-hmm. But I've never gone out and been like,
here we go.
20 miles, let's go. Yeah.
Especially in the mountains, it's a lot harder.
Oh, yeah. So, and Pat gets mad about this. And he calls Pat a negativity spreader.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, I mean, kind of, but he probably needs to be in this case.
Negative against your negative plan.
Yeah, because what you're doing is not the best.
Yeah.
So then it is time for the hike.
Less kids than I thought there'd be on this.
Yeah, there's not a lot of them.
Surprising amount of kids met their goal, apparently.
Well, they probably didn't know about the drop-off point.
True.
Because you only see the people that were...
like the chipmunk bunk, pretty
much.
Exactly. Yeah.
And did you notice who else was on that hike with them?
Who was that?
The counselor that was narking on them.
Oh, yeah.
He was there, too.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yeah.
He's also, apparently...
He's a bad boy.
needs that 20 mile hike.
Mm-hmm.
So they go off on the hike, and it's just Tony
and the kids.
And
no
that one
food.
counselor.
No food.
Exactly.
This is the cleanse.
Exactly.
Which is insane.
You've got to be putting some calories in to be able to function.
Yeah. And if you get stuck out there or something. Yeah. Something happens and you don't have emergency rations or anything.
Exactly.
You're in trouble, bro.
Yep. So they go off on their hike. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Pat, Tim, and Nurse Julie are trying to figure out a way that they can get rid of Tony, basically. Because...
they're trying to call, like, child services and stuff. They can't get out there for 2 weeks, apparently. Which is like, I don't know if that would be true or not.
Yeah. And then Kenny, the cameraman, comes up. He's like, if you've seen Tony, he's like, he hasn't paid me the $600 he owes me or whatever. And they're like,
maybe we can use him.
Exactly. So then, back at the hike, Tony is doing some insane stuff.
Yes. He jumped out onto a branch that's hanging over nothing.
Yes. Hanging over a cliff. He just like...
yeah, he's lost his mind.
He's lost his damn mind. And yeah, so the kids are like, we've got to do something about this. He's gone insane. We do not need to be around him anymore. Yeah. So he's trying to meditate, and they're making a bunch of noise and everything. He's like, oh my God, what do you want? What is happening? Yeah. He's like, they say something about, we were wondering if you can do a sit-up with blindfolded and not being able to hear. Yeah. Not being able to see or be able to hear. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, obviously
which
you can
they
do
just
that.
cover his eyes. They don't cover his ears
they
or
do.
anything.
So he's like, obviously you can do that. And it's like, well, Jerry says you can't. So he's like, well,
Jerry's about to be wrong.
Jerry's about to be wrong. The way his voice in this is so funny. Yeah, so he's like, yeah, of course I can do it. So he's on the ground. He's about to do this sit-up. They've got him blindfolded. And Josh stands in front of him with his pants down so that he's going to kiss his butt.
Right into his butt.
And he realizes the blindfold falls off as he's sitting up. Yeah. And he sees it. And he karate...
it takes his knees out.
He karate chops the back of his knees. Yeah. He falls. It's so funny. It's like one of my favorite parts of the movie. It just makes me laugh so much. So he runs after Josh because Josh runs. And he takes like the wrong step forward, basically. They've done
there was like a pit.
There's like a pit there that they've covered up. Yeah. And he falls into the pit. Yeah. And so he's in this pit now.
Jerry gets back to camp.
Yes. The adults there are talking about how Kenny wants a lot of money to help them or whatever. Yeah. So they're still trying to figure out what they're going to do. Jerry comes up and he's like, we've solved it. We've solved the problem. Don't worry about it. Tony's not going to be a problem anymore. Come see what we've done. Yeah. And Nurse Julie is like, I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah. And she should.
Yeah, because they have him in...
an electrified cage.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my, you cannot you cannot do this to someone. You cannot.
They give people the chair for less than that.
Exactly. So Pat goes in there and he's like, okay, I'll get you out, Tony. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, but when I get out of here, I'm going to
kick you in the groin.
You in the groin so hard that it will stop you from ever having children again.
Yeah.
And we're like,
oh, interesting.
Again.
Pat has a kid. Huh. How strange. All coming together. All coming together.
But why would he say again?
Nobody knows.
That's weird. That's weird, man.
Yep.
So anyway, Pat's like, okay, well, I guess you're staying in this cage. So they're like, oh, well, you can stay here.
Locked up.
Exactly. So they tie up all of the other counselors that are with Tony. Lars, of course, is one of them. So he gets tied up to a tree. They rip his shirt open, so his pecs are on display.
His chest is out. He's like, oh no.
They pour honey on him, and they're like, there are bears in this
Bears
wood.
love honey.
Yep, exactly. He's like, I won't do it again.
Please
let me go.
I've got candy.
And so they leave, and then they hear him screaming.
Yeah.
And so they run back because they're like, there aren't bears, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, first of all, this is North Carolina. There are black bears.
There should be, I imagine there's bears around.
There are absolutely black bears in those woods. I've been to North Carolina.
I fought a bear there.
I've seen a bear there. No, actually,
I captured one and named it Winnie.
No, I have seen bears there, but they were in an enclosure, so it doesn't really count.
You went to the zoo.
It wasn't a zoo, but it was kind of like a zoo, but all they had were the bears.
They were on some type of film playing on a screen. But they're there.
But yeah, there are black bears around.
Yeah.
You have to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
So
they get back and it's a deer.
It's a deer. And it's not even like near, it's like in front of him, but it's eating grass.
Yeah.
And they laugh at him and everything and make fun of him because he's scared of a deer.
Yeah.
So now that all of the bad guys are tied up or in an electric cage,
yep,
it's time to party.
It's party time.
So they have all of these pizzas delivered. They have like chicken.
A bonfire going. Yeah, they got chicken wings.
They've got all kinds of
pizza.
They've got
6-foot subs.
They've got popcorn. They've got all kinds of candy. People are going crazy with this food.
So much. There's so much whipped cream and cherries.
People have jars of maraschino cherries and are just like
down in them.
I'm like, I could probably do that, honestly. I do love some maraschino cherries. But yeah, chocolate sauce.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
At one point, Pat is like, Tim looks like a human s'more.
Yeah.
He does.
I better go stop him.
Yeah, and she's like, no, stay here with me.
Stay with me, yeah.
He's like, okay.
Yeah, easy choice.
Yep, so...
The morning comes.
Yes.
Everybody's dead.
There's like battlefield music.
Yeah.
They're just all laid out.
Sprawled on the ground.
Yeah, there's like food
they were just wasted.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And Pat wakes him up. And then he tells him, we have to learn
I think we learned something
self-control.
Last night. Yeah. You're all in charge of your own diet.
Yes.
You gotta have self-control.
Exactly. And then they start exercising because you see them like walking and everything.
Yeah.
And
they're cleaning up the camp.
They're Nurse Julie. Nurse Julie is like doing cooking classes with them. So she's like, here, we're going to make some pasta primavera and all this stuff. So they're trying to eat a little healthier.
Yeah.
But, learn some good stuff. And then it's Parents' Day. It's time for the parents to show up.
Yeah.
And
I thought this was the end of the movie.
Yes. Because you would think it would be.
Yeah, it should be.
But it's not.
Yeah.
So the parents show up. Jerry's dad and mom and dad show up. His dad is like, you look the same.
Yeah, you don't look like you've lost any weight.
And he's like, no, but I feel better,
right.
I feel good. And he's like, his mom's like, well, that's what matters, honey. Now let me go see your real dad.
Where is Pat?
Where's he at?
I haven't seen him in 11 years.
Oh, gosh. So, Nicholas, the little Brit guy, little Brit boy, he is the one in charge of Uncle Tony at this point. Because
he has no parents.
He has no parents there.
Yeah.
Because you're like, why aren't his parents there? I'm like, they're in England. They don't want to fly over.
Why did they send him?
I don't know. Maybe they don't have fat camps in England.
Maybe they shouldn't send him to fat camp then.
So, he is the one who's in charge of Tony. So he brings him his food, which is
like a potato.
A baked potato, which has foil on it. And also, he's got to eat that baked potato with something.
Yeah.
Do like me, and earlier today when I ate it with a plastic spoon. It works.
Yep.
But he gives him a metal fork.
Yeah.
And
fools.
This is where it all goes wrong. So all of the parents are in.
They show him a video.
Yes, they're like, this is what has happened at camp this year.
Yeah.
Here's this video we're going to show you. And so it starts off and it's like so nice. And it's like Camp Hope. And then it's like, or Camp Hell. Yeah. And you see the blob being killed.
Yeah.
And
all the stuff Tony did.
Yeah, exactly. And you see him like yelling at the kids and
the nurse
everybody's
saying
like crying.
His program doesn't work.
It's dangerous. It could kill your kids and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And at one point they show like Josh is trying to like, he gets like this rat out of a hole and starts eating it. And it's like clearly a plastic rat, but it's so funny.
Like I added a little spice to it.
Like I gotta add a little spice to it, exactly. And so all of the parents are like, oh my gosh, how could this happen?
Yeah.
And meanwhile,
Tony
has turned off the electricity to the cage using the fork. Because he shorted it out. It was like a bug zapper that they were using to electrify it. Yeah. He shorts it out with that the fork. And then he uses the foil to
a piece of paper.
And a little piece of paper to make a Hershey's kiss.
Yeah.
To make a little Hershey's kiss.
Thank you for being such a good guard.
I got a little treat for you. Hershey's kiss. Exactly. And
Come get it. It'll smoosh.
So, yeah. He's like, throw it on the ground. He's like, it'll smush. And so Nicholas goes to get it, and then he drops it. He's like, oops, Butterfingers. And I'm like, that's a completely different candy. But Nicholas goes to pick it up, and when he does, he grabs him.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. And then
the video ends.
The video ends, exactly.
And someone's applauding.
There he is. He is like in the window, like way up high. How did he even get there? I don't know. Why couldn't he come in a door? He's just like lounging in the window, clapping, and he's like, it was a great video, but the villain was a bit over the top. And then he flips down.
And lands, he's like, ouch. Like, why?
So ridiculous.
It doesn't come back into place for some random thing.
But he really is over the top, too. Yeah. It's so funny.
He's crazy.
So then he does this thing where he's like, he's coming toward Jerry.
Yeah.
Because I guess Jerry is like his nemesis now.
Yeah. Gerald Garner,
age 11, 141 pounds.
Yeah.
And so he's grabbing glasses off of the tables and just smashing them and then stepping on them.
Walking on glass. Yeah.
And he's like,
It's so dumb.
It's like, what are you doing, bro?
It's just insane.
So anyway, he gets over there and Jerry's dad.
Yeah, he talks crap to him.
Yeah.
I can't remember what he says, but Jerry's dad just rears back and punches him in the gut.
Yeah. And then he does this thing where he like flips all the way down.
Well, Jerry's dad turns around, so he karate chops him in the back.
That's right.
Double karate chops him. Then he does a bunch of handsprings back to
all
the back.
Way, yeah.
But he doesn't land the last one and hits his head on the wall.
It's so weird.
He's having a lot of trouble.
And then they all come up and they're like, well, I guess that's him. I guess that's the end of that. So they called his dad.
Yeah.
Tony Perkins Sr.
Who is a light bulb king, apparently. Donated all the light sockets or whatever to the camp.
Yeah, because when he first shows up, he's like, my father donated all the lights to the camp. And then it's like this big chandelier just comes down and lights everything up. It's so stupid. But yeah, he's like, I'll take him home, you know.
Yeah.
We'll take care of him.
Yeah. Y'all can all head out.
Exactly. And
Sorry.
they're like, no, but we don't want to leave. It's not the end of the summer yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, all right, well, is there an adult that I can leave in charge? Who's been here the longest?
Yeah.
And so Nurse Julie is like, this is my first year.
Yeah.
And Tim's like, I've been here like 2 years. I think he said
Something
2
like
years.
that.
It's like, that
2
doesn't
or
seem like
4
very
or
long.
something like that.
And then everybody else is like, 5 years, 3 years, whatever. And then Pat's like 18 years.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing, bro? What have you been doing? So he's like, well, I mean, if it's okay with you, I'm going to put you in charge. And he's like, sure.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's real happy.
Yeah, exactly. So
Thought that's where it ended,
yeah,
honestly.
So Pat's in charge. And it's
Yeah.
like, all right, there's the end. The villain is out of here. It's not
We did
the end.
it. Nope.
It's not the end. There's still a little bit left.
Nope. Yeah.
About 13 minutes left, probably.
Yeah. Surprisingly.
So we got to have the Apache relay.
Yeah.
Can't
Got to.
have camp without the end of camp
Mm-hmm.
Apache relay. So the Apache relay is an obstacle course.
Yep.
The Hall of Intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And the Grand Prix.
Right.
So they start off with the obstacle course, of course.
Of course. Of course.
And they're so bad at this.
Yeah. They're annoying.
They're really bad at this.
They pick all the worst kids for it.
Like,
I don't know how they're not just completely
It starts
left
off
behind.
with like somebody like a sack race or whatever, and this kid. Why
He's
did you put this kid in here? He's
yeah.
awful.
And then a kid that's afraid to climb the wall.
Yeah,
Is on the climbing wall.
exactly.
Kid that can't kick a soccer ball is the soccer ball guy.
Yeah,
What are y'all doing, man?
exactly.
So annoying.
It's not good.
Yeah.
But luckily, Camp MVP puts their dumbest guy in the Hall of Intelligence.
Apparently, yeah, or it might have been their smartest.
It may have been. I don't know. But he's real dumb.
He's bad at this.
And there's a time limit, and I think that's the only way he gets
Yeah.
through it, because it's like, if you can't solve this...
I would never get through that thing. Some of those pictures, I haven't seen those pictures.
I was an art history major. One of those pictures I didn't know.
It's like, that's insane.
I could have told you the artist.
Yeah.
Because it was like, okay, well, this looks like a Van Gogh, but it wasn't like sunflowers or, a Starry Night or anything like that.
Yeah. You can't start with Mona Lisa and then be like, whatever this is. I don't know.
The House in Amiens by Van Gogh. I'm like, okay. I would have gotten the Botticelli one, but
Yeah.
Yeah. The math problem, I would have been like, you got to give me that 6 minutes. I'm not going to get this. I might
it's a long one. I could eventually get it, but
it would take a while. I don't know if I could get it within 6 minutes.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've done math. Obviously. But, so he's not doing so well, but Nicholas gets in there and he just kills it.
He kills it, yeah.
He even knows, like, one of the things is name 5 vice presidents.
Yeah.
I'd have trouble with that, probably.
I could name 5.
I could probably name 5, but it might take me a while.
Especially since a lot of presidents were vice presidents.
Yeah.
So.
Because you could always say John Adams, because he was the first vice president. That's easy. You got Aaron Burr, and then I could probably get him.
Yeah.
But it might take me a bit. But this British kid is just like...
he nails it.
He's like, you Americans, you have no sense of history. And yeah, he does a good job. He gets through it. Of course, stupid little camp MVP guy is like, Quail?
Yeah.
Like
That's
3
all
times.
I got.
Cher? Because he thought Cher was also Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Anyway, they somehow end up at the Grand Prix at the same time.
Yeah.
And
they have to skip all the way there.
Yes, they do.
The Grand Prix.
Exactly. So they get there. Jerry is on the go-kart.
Yeah.
He's the captain, so he's got to do the go-kart.
Got to do it.
And, he had talked about when he and Pat were out there at night, he had talked about he wanted to ride the go-karts because he's never been fast.
Yeah.
And he wanted to feel like he was flying.
Mm-hmm. He's like, do these things jump? It's like, oh yeah, they jump.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So he is the one who's doing the go-kart.
Yeah.
This go-kart race is very close.
Yeah. They made this go-kart race so dangerous. They were crossing the bridge over the lake. It's so narrow. They can barely get over.
It's like if you go just a tiny, a centimeter in one direction, you're off. You're off that thing.
It's insane.
It was ridiculous. But they make it. They're almost at the finish line. The bad guy is in the in the lead.
Yep.
And Pat has, when they rebuilt the go-kart, he put a little something extra in there.
Yeah.
He gave it some nos.
Yeah, he gave it nos.
I don't know exactly what it was. It was like a fan or something. It was like, this is not going to do anything, but okay.
Yeah, whatever. Like a propeller back there.
Yeah, but it ends up like sending him like flying.
He launches
because
over the jump.
There's a jump. And he launches over it, and he launches over the other guy, and he's just like, oh, I'm flying.
Look at me, way up high.
I'm flying. I'm flying. Oh, man. So, yeah.
And
he flies over the other guy in the go-kart, and you were like, that guy's dead.
Yeah, he lands right on him.
He's fine, I guess.
Guess so.
And they win. They win the Apache Relay.
First time ever.
In like 33 years.
Yeah.
Because it was a 33rd annual.
The other counselor said he was going to sue.
Yeah, it's like, why?
And what court would ever take this case?
Exactly.
No, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Exactly.
But I do think he would have a case that they cheated if there was a camp court, because who's running all the events? Camp Fat Camp. I don't remember what they're called. Camp Hope.
Camp Hope.
Yeah. Oh, Pat put a little boost in their go-kart that the other team doesn't have. How weird. They're helping that kid up the wall. They're pushing him up. I don't know. I don't think they're good. I think they cheated.
Well, it doesn't matter because there's no camp court, so.
They threw the cup away anyway. Who cares?
They did. They threw the cup into the lake.
Yeah. So go get it.
Yeah. It'd be funny if it showed, like, if at the very end, if it showed, like, him scuba diving under there trying
to find it.
But they don't.
Nope.
And so they win. Everybody's happy. And Jerry goes up to Pat and he tells him, thanks for the best summer of my life.
I believe you said best damn summer.
Probably.
Which you refused to acknowledge all the swear words in this.
And then Pat said, mine too.
Oh, son.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and he does smooch on Nurse Julie.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry does, not Pat. no, Pat
Jerry
does.
moves in on him.
He's like, if you're not going to make the move, Pat, I guess I'm going to have to do it.
Yeah. And after they throw the cup in the thing, the other counselor's like, you're crazy, Pat. Pat says, yeah, I am crazy.
Oh, no.
I'm crazy in love. Crazy for my girl.
I was like, stop it.
Smooth operator.
I do like Pat, though.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
But that is it.
Pretty much.
That was it, except for there is an after credits scene.
We get them singing Camp Hope song.
Yes, that's true. Over the credits.
It's terrible. I hate it.
It's pretty bad. It is pretty bad. The only part that I liked of it when I was younger was Lars's part where he's talking about, I was not scared of that big deal. Because that just made me laugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not good. But then we have a scene after the credits, and it is Tony Perkis at somebody's door. He has rung the doorbell. They open the door. He's there. He is selling crystals.
Yeah.
And they just shut the door.
Ahead of his time. If he would have just waited 30 years, he would have been selling them like crazy.
Oh, I guess so. But yeah, he gets the door slamming in his face.
And that's it. That's setting up the next Marvel movie.
There you go.
The Heavyweights are a superhero team.
The Age of Perkis.
Yeah. I thought it was more fun this time. I liked it. Maybe because I was more removed from not liking camp myself.
Yeah, there you go.
Having this guy scary associated with a camp. And so, yeah. I don't know. But yeah. All right. Well, let's get to our snack because it sounds like it's about to rain outside.
Yeah.
We got a lot of thunder going on.
Yep.
So what are we having today?
Today, because this is a movie about fat camp and dieting and all of that stuff. We're
being very health conscious here.
Yes, we are. We are eating Oreo Thins.
Yes.
These are tiramisu flavored. And obviously they're thins, so you can eat more of them.
Yeah.
You can eat 4 of them, and it's only 140 calories.
Oh, man. It's basically eating air.
I'm pretty sure regular Oreos, you can eat like 6 of those, and it's like maybe 180.
Maybe. I don't know.
I can't remember. But it's not that much. There's not much difference. I've never had Oreo Thins, though.
I feel like I have. They're not much different.
Yeah, I imagine
They're
they're
just
not.
more cookie.
Yeah. Well, let's give them a try. They smell really good to me.
They do smell good. And I'm not even like the biggest coffee guy, so
yeah.
They're very thin.
They are very thin. Oh my god. It's a Twister. It's a Twister. Uncle Henry. Somebody let me in the storm shelter, please. It is about to storm big time.
They're pretty good. They got a good tiramisu flavor.
Mm-hmm. They do. They have kind of a weird aftertaste, though.
I feel like it tastes like coffee.
It kind of tastes like coconut to me. Something about it.
I kind of see it. Yeah.
It doesn't bother me, though.
Yeah. I think it needs more cream.
It does need more cream. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could probably take like one of these, take the cream from one of the other ones, and stick that cream on there.
Just completely defeat the point. Jeez. Just completely defeat the point.
Yeah.
Somebody's mad at me for trying to.
Just have like a big stack of cream and the two little teeny tiny thing cookies and be like, this is great. They're pretty good though. I mean, they have a good flavor.
I could eat them. You know. I could tear that sleeve apart.
Oh yeah. These ain't lasting long. I can tell you that right now. That 4 for 140 calories.
Yeah. Before you eat, what are you rating it?
I'm gonna give them 7.
Okay. I was gonna give them a 6.5.
Okay, that's pretty close.
So yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna kick these out of bed
for eating themselves.
Exactly.
All right. Well, how was heavyweights? Who was your favorite heavyweight? What do you think about these Oreo Thins? Let us know on Twitter at HavingFunCast or on Facebook at HavingFunPod.
Or you can send us an email to havingfunpod@gmail.com.
Go have fun and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.